Hello, 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 fans, friends, followers. Thank you for stopping by, stepping in, sticking around. This is Daddy D-Man81, as you know me on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and follow for more video content. I'll be continuing to release videos in the future. I will be starting a new server, a new channel of Raid Shadow Legends, game I've been playing for a little over 3 years, or about 2 years. So without further ado, and this will be Raid for Beginners, Episode 3, Chapters 5 through 6, as I introduce it now. Hello, 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 fans, friends, followers. We're back on Sir D-Man Mini, the low account of mine. We are going to continue with For Beginners on Episode 3, and this will continue the chapter story 5 and beyond I keep talking about in previous videos. First, before we continue that, my dailies are requiring some attention on the classic arena, so we'll just go do a quick run through there. I could do these real quick. Most of these will probably be easy on auto, 1 or 2 hits, and I'll be able to win. So you guys can see me go through that real quick. And I do run through those in fast mode, all 5 battles, so I'll cut in a few times with the post-edit voiceover, which I'm talking now, compared to the in-game voiceover. So obviously you're not going to hear me talking when I'm in fast mode. So today's video will include chapters 5 and 6, as I mentioned at the beginning, and I will also touch on one of the dungeons, 1 or 2 dungeons, and I also show up with one of the faction wars. So stick around to see those, and as the video continues, you'll see me navigate some things. I'll probably include a couple tips here and there, and then most of my battles, because they're all redundant, I'll just fast forward and I'll talk over myself like I am now. So with that, as I continue, go quiet for a moment. So that's it for the faction. Let's finish the rest of these. Let's pull 3 of these. So with that said, starting off in chapter 5 here in a moment, I will be proceeding forward. I'm just going to do it like I'm grinding, because I think KO's high enough. You saw me in the last video. I promoted I don't need it anymore. I promoted KO to rank 5, and through some grinding I got him to close to level 50. He's not quite max yet, so he'll gain some experience, and then the rest of them will continue to gain some experience. So I do go into fast mode. I'm re-gearing. Prior to going into the battle, I wanted to make sure the gear were at the best that I had at the moment. And so I quickly talk about each gear, and I think I gear up specifying the Dark Elves that I was grinding. I had a few low creatures of Dark Elves, and I was preparing them, and the reason why I included them in the Faction War video today, I was preparing them while I was grinding the chapters. And I mentioned before that when you're grinding the chapters, take along creatures that you are using for other in-game content and get them experience, and that's the best way to get their experience up, is while grinding the chapters. But of course my KO is high enough that I don't need a full crew of strong champions. KO is pretty much handling the chapters by himself. Usually if I need to, I'll substitute one of the food for one of the higher champions. Both my legendaries that I have are also needing experience, so it's not too bad to include them as well, but their experience is so high it takes forever. So that's what I was doing here, is just going through some gear. It's too fast to talk about each specific gear, but as you can tell, I definitely need to clean out my storage. Most of the 2s and 1 stars I'll delete, or not delete, but sell. And then anything 3-star and above, I'll specify with specific substats, particularly that weapon over there with speed, attack, and crit rate. It's a great weapon. Preferably you want speed and crit rate to be boosted, but I'll take substats on any of those because pretty much all of it could be useful. Some people claim that it's better to have all substats on one substat, or all boosts on one substat, and sometimes that's good for certain characters, but not necessarily all the characters. I would rather do an even spread of speed, attack, and crit rate instead of just all on speed or all on crit rate. So to me, I just take whatever, as long as it's all good. And that came really good with crit damage at the bottom. That's a fantastic weapon right there. For 5-star, I definitely would keep that for that account, for at least for a while. I'm pretty sure I'd keep that for a long time. I don't think I'll ever sell that. But again, that counts low, so. So as it continues, I'll continue gearing Kale, and then I'll gear, I think, 2 of the Dark Elves that I take with me. Not all 5. I end up leaving the 2 uncommon Dark Elves ungeared. They die easily anyways. But if I had more time in the video, I probably would have geared them. Just trash gear, just throw common gear on them that you don't mind destroying instead of spending money to save it. Just throw common gear on the lower champs that are food if you're using them in other content, and you know that the food is likely going to be used as food in the future, and you're not concerned about actually destroying gear. Just use common. Otherwise, I don't use common gear on much. So then I was navigating a couple of menus. I was showing a couple things there. I was showing the missions and challenges, and I think I was explaining in fast mode how easy it is to get some of those. As you noticed, some of those for the attack, and all I need to do is get attack bonuses in the Great Hall upgraded, and I would get at least 1 more. But I think I show here in a moment. So I was talking about the, well, I've already moved past challenges. Artifacts. So helmet, so I need 2 more helmets. I need 3 more gauntlets. I need 4 more chest plates, helmets, gauntlets, chest plates, and boots. Helmets, gauntlets, chest plates, and boots. Hopefully I can remember that. I don't want to write it down right now. Yeah, I do. I'll fast forward through this after I write this down. Hopefully I fast forward beyond that, because I'm already past that part of the edit. I should have fast forward through that. So I apologize. It'll be delayed, but it basically explained what I was doing. I'm trying to remember which. I'm going back and repeating the same stage of the chapter, Carrick's Castle, then the first chapter, chapter 1, and all of it's referred to with the numbers right there: 1.2, 1.4, 1.5. All that's chapter 1. So don't neglect these challenges. They're easy to do. Alright, let's do this. Quick run through the Carrick's Castle, chapter 1. Get these quests out of the way, show you guys how easy it is to come back through here and repeat these. So I need 2 helmets. 2 helmets, go to stage 2. And like I said, I've gotten a few extra champs on my roster, so and Kale is now up in rank 5. He's on his way to 50. And I'm now bringing along Terror Beast. Terror Beast is pretty decent as an HP. And so I'm going to bring him along. So basically, reason why I'm doing this is because by getting the extra gear, I'll accomplish the challenge. And when you accomplish enough of the challenges, you'll get rewards for those. And I'll show by the end of the video. That's one thing I was trying to show for the beginners, to remind you guys to go back and check these all the time. You do have to repeat some of these and that's why the game is developed that way. They want you to repeat some of the lower levels but you do have to repeat it a few times to get the added gear. But doing so, it pays off with getting extra rewards, especially a book, free books, so you can't complain about that. And then a quick show, I was showing Terror Beast, I think I already talked about it a moment ago. So if you want to see any of that, just go ahead and pause any of that as I fast forward. Usually I slow down and read it to you. Apparently I didn't do that in the initial edit. This is my second stage of the edit. I usually do my edits in 3 stages. This video is a little bit late. This video was recorded a couple weeks back, mid-January at least, and it's now mid-February, so about a month ago. I was delayed with a lot of things in life and preparing for Super Bowl and stuff like that, and just socializing outside of my home. So I didn't get a whole lot of time. I give myself a lot of time to make video edits, and then the time I do have that's free time, I have to balance between video edits and actually playing games. Since then, I've kind of shaded away from Raid, and that's why I was also delayed. Not sure how much I'm going to continue Raid. I am going to continue Raid, I'm just not going to continue it as strong as you see other Raid players. I don't like the fact that Raid demands pretty much your daily, all-day attention. And some of you might feel the same as me. It drains you so much that you hardly have any time for anything outside of gaming, as well as any other games out there. And I hate the fact that I paid money into Raid on one of my accounts and I don't spend much time anymore on it. But then again, I hate the fact that I've paid money for other games I play and I don't spend any time on them either. So I've actually recently found a new game that is free to me with the Game Pass, and so I'll be showing that in future videos coming soon. So hopefully you stick around, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and go ahead and follow for more future content. I'm going to continue trying to release videos, just not always going to be Raid. I like enough games out there that I try to rotate between multiple games, and as you can see on my channel, here soon I might do a survey on my channel and talk about and ask about what everybody likes the most and what kind of content within each game you like the most, and try to gauge from there, trying to get a feel for what the few of you that follow me, what you actually want to see. So comment down below if you want to add to that, but I'm going to be doing a survey here soon, within the next couple weeks. So don't miss that either, so you at least have a chance to give your input on what you like on my channel. I am hoping to grow. I try to do this full time. I just do more gaming than I do editing, and I should balance it more evenly. But I'm doing it by myself. A lot of video editors and YouTube content creators actually have somebody on their team to help them edit the videos and manage the channel and all that stuff. I'm doing all that by myself. So if you guys know anybody I might, that would be willing to help me, also give them a comment or share this with them, and leave a comment down below. Anyway, so as we continue on, you can see I was talking about each of these champs that I've got, and I'm almost finished off with the chapter here, chapter 1, and then I'll show the bonuses or what you get. So look at that. Done, silver, done, silver, done, silver. Oh, I still need boots. Quick run through. Dang it! This will literally take. It's right there in front of me too. I didn't even know to pay attention. I just need 1 boots because I've already done a few of these. Oh no, I need to go back here and grind get some boots. I wanted extra boots for a couple champs I needed HP boots for. So just 1 pair of boots. I'm going to let this go as I'm talking. As I was saying earlier, you could expect gear sometimes, you could expect champs sometimes, you could expect shards sometimes. Sometimes you get none of that, and you just might even get silver only. There's my boots. Boots. This last one, it's not as tricky, but it's just got to equip a support type with champ with 3 HP sets. So I got a full load HP, all 6 pieces on a champ, on a support champ. I have a champ in mind. Probably most of these will come off. I could do, no, that's not support. I was thinking Lamiver, but then I saw Corporate Cadaver and I thought that was support. Where'd Nightmare go? This is support. Yep, let's throw them all on here. So as long as it says support right here, I fill this up with HP. And I'm gonna do all gray if I have it for all the pieces. Then I'm just gonna toss them. I'm gonna destroy them as I remove them. And for the sake of, I don't have any. What? Yeah, I just realized I was missing 2. Oh, I know why, because I've used them. Sun biscuit. So the reason why I missed out on those is because I would previously got those, but I broke up. I didn't do all 6 chapters or runs at the same time, and so I ended up using those on somebody else. You don't necessarily have to do all this on your first run, but eventually come back and do all these questline quests. So now I go back to the support champion, shield, and weapon. Watch this, watch this. Hold on, I get a book. Boom! Book! Oh! I got a book! I got a book! I'm so hilarious how dramatic I make it. Oh, look, we are already 2 more that have been progressed. I'm not going to go through all that right now, but you kind of get the idea. Go through all these on your own, at your pace, and you see how easy it is. I think each one of these, so this is chapter, so each chapter all the way through the campaign will have its own right here. So you go through this for each chapter and then get all these quests done, and I believe the reward at the end of each one of these is going to be a blue book. So that's 12 blue books right there. And then these are fairly easy. I'm not going to do them right now, but they're fairly easy. The point is, I've already gotten magic. Keep your attention. Keep your eyes on the challenges periodically. Don't neglect those. Champs. I've done most of these. Get another blue book once I finish these. All of these are fairly easy. You just have to come in here and read them, see what it is, and go complete them. What did I get? And then just quick run through navigating the. Oh no! All right, on to the main meat of this video. Hopefully, I didn't drag it out too much. Continuing with Chapter 5. And I will let this play through. You will watch this at the same time as I am. If this is your first time, you'll see this as you go through.
Arriving at the snow-clad moor that sloped down to Felwyn's Gate, the company surveyed the grim scene before them. A multitude of half-starved refugees.
Oh boy.
Human folk, lizard men, elven. The many peoples of Teleria, all camped in the frozen mud outside the battlements of the Great Gate, now barred. Ogren and Skinwalker guards were denying them entry, telling them to clear off back to their homelands. The company agreed to force their way through and unbar the passage.
Ha! Oh, yep. This is going to get interesting. Alright, so we are now at Felwyn's Gate, and this is going to get interesting. So I'm fighting Ogren and Lizard and, what did it say, Orc? And this is my first time at this account. I've beaten all this on multiple accounts, so. Shadowbones. I'm just going to quickly glance at these. I'm going to read, I don't know, I guess I should read through them for you guys. Attacks one enemy, place an increased attack buff on all allies for 1 turn. The attack is critical, so make sure you get this guy critical if you get him. Attacks all enemies 3 times, has a 50% chance to decrease the turn meter by 30. Again, you want to keep him critical, so that way he deals more crit damage as well. Places a 15% decreased speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, so he's not attacking anybody. There's no retaliation chance on this. All he's doing is casting the debuff. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 25%. So he's helping spread the gap of turn meter by slowing the enemies down while speeding the allies up. But again, it's mostly get crit rate up there for this champ. Gore Mask. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Attacks one enemy, damage increases 20% of the attack critical. Again, you want to keep it critical, get that crit rate up on him. Attacks one enemy will ignore shield and block damage buffs. This is a plain, simple attack. You can improve this if you put stuff like provoke or stun or say toxic or something like that. You can make this more useful by adding those. So if you add those and then you add, say, retaliation, he would still attack 2 times with that whatever debuff you're adding to it. Plus that debuff set would also help on these as well. So, I mean, he's not a bad champ for early on. I don't use him anymore. In fact, I've probably eaten him a few times on my high account. And there's 2 of them, not going to read both. Let's see what Rocktooth does. See, he's got attacks one enemy, place an extra hit. This attack is critical. Attacks all enemies, places increased crit rate buff on all allies for 1 turn. Attacks one enemy, places 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. Not too bad, not too bad. I am gonna go throw Kale. So those are all the enemies, but you can get them as rewards and you can spawn those in the future with shards. Wonder if I should do food. I could have, but I think I drag higher. If I should go through, maybe I'll go through with 1 strong character and then food. Not even food, but champs that. That's what I'll do. No, I end up taking Monkey Boy off. Champs that I want. Actually, that's what I was going to do. Yeah, I was putting the Dark Elves on to grind them. Who else was gonna? Oh. So these are the 4 that, 3 of these plus this other one, and then another KO I have will be in the. That's too much. No counting. Faction War. So a quick run through these, just typical. This will be how I run through most of the videos. The battles go in fast mode, because it's all the same thing. You're just seeing the same thing over and over again, especially when it's on auto. Basically, I'm grinding the experience for these Dark Elves. After I do the 2 chapters, 5. There's one of them. First time getting Brute. Actually, he's pretty decent. Kind of lame. Attacks 2 times. Attacks 2 times at random, so not one particular enemy. 2 of those hits can hit the same enemy. 2 of those hits can hit 2 different champs, and you don't know who they are. But 2 times a random, 50% chance placing a high poison debuff for 1 turn. If this attack is critical, again get him critical. Attacks 1 enemy, has an extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit. He is uncommon. I don't think he's going to stick around for me very long. But if you're new and you're early, he can be useful. You don't have but he can also be replaced. Go ahead and use him, build him up. I wouldn't get him past 40 though. Yeah, he could be useful. And I already showed Shadowbones earlier. I showed Magma Blood earlier. I think I showed Magma Blood. Or maybe I realized I didn't and I show him later. But it's just grinding the Dark Elves, so by the time I'm done with the 2 chapters I'm showing today, I go and do a Faction Wars as well with these Dark Elves that I'm grinding. And that's why I'm grinding them, to get them a little bit better. Let's see what Siegebreaker does. Attacks one enemy 2 times, boring. You can improve that by using sets. But I don't like champs who are boring. Boring is dull. Attacks one enemy, has an 80% chance of placing blocked active that is skill debuff for 1 turn if this attack is critical. So you want him to be critical. Try to get him as close to 100% crit rate. Or pair with another champion who boosts crit rate. Or at least has crit rate aura. I don't know if crit rate aura is out there. Offhand, I don't know for sure. Oh, look! Place an increased crit rate buff on this champion for 2 turns. Then attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of decreasing the turn meter. So I'm just going to point out the obvious. When this is on him, he gets closer to 100. So if you're at 70 and then he uses this, you'll have him at 100. However, when he's not using this and then you use this, if you don't time it right, there's a chance so you might not get that block. You want the A3 before the A2. Out the obvious. And I'll also point out, as it goes into fast mode, there are multiple champs I just talked about in the last 5 minutes of the video about having crit rate, or if crit rate, or getting crit rate. And then there's one champ that I also pointed out.
Skinwalkers in the show. We got Gnarlhorn.
I think he's good for. There's a fusion out there. I can't remember what the fusion was. But he attacks one enemy. Damage increases according to how much HP this champion has lost. So there's a risk there. The lower health he gets, the more damage he does. But the attack cannot be strong, critical, or weak hit. So basically normal. So this attack, as I realized here, in 3, 2, 1. Weak. So it would only be a normal. I was trying to think. I was like, well, what other hits are there? it would just be a normal. It wouldn't fluctuate either way. I don't. When they put too much stipulations like that on abilities, I'm like, toss him. Toss him. He'd be good food, I guess. For you guys early on, if you don't have anything better, you don't have an HP. He's an HP champ. You can see right there. And this, again, it's mixed up.
Attack.
It's an HP champ, but he's attack damage. Unkillable is useful. Every 3 turns.
Not as good as Paragon.
Unkillable. It's not as much as it would be if it was. There's another one at Paragon out there, Dark Elf Paragon. So, as I was saying, there's a champ that will give increased crit rate for all champs or all allies. If you have him with those other champs I mentioned, crit rate. I think we looked at him already. Fairy Stoker, we did not look at him. Protects one enemy, a 15% chance extra hit. I don't think there's any way to increase that chance, but you definitely want to keep crit rate at close to 100 on him. If you've got crit rate high, and then say sets like Instinct or Savage, or even just Cruel, which ignore defense, that's just so much extra damage that you're dealing. And if you get an extra hit, now if you proc that added with Retaliation, if he retaliates and then he has a chance for an extra hit, he's going to use this skill, which means he has another chance for an extra hit. I've seen other champs similar to this with a very, very similar ability get 4 or 5 hits in a row, free hits, just because of that extra chance for an extra hit. Removes all debuffs from a target ally, heals this target by 20, heals that target ally by 20%. The heal increases according to the amount of debuffs removed. Okay, so if you wait to use it and then your allies got 4 or 5 debuffs on them, they get a really big heal if you can remove it. But at the same time, you don't want to wait that long because it's more risky to them. Heals the ally with the lowest HP by 7.5% per each turn. This heal can be critical, will not heal this champion. So again, you want crit rate high. You want crit rate high for the added hits and the added damage you get for extra hits. But you also want crit rate high for the foreskin kin. So crit rate's definitely good if you have a champion that boosts crit rate. All the champions in the team that need crit rate will get that boost and they become that much better. And that would be Maneater. Don't tell me that's Maneater. That is Maneater. Oh, I hate
Only because I don't have him yet.
Hopefully the AI doesn't.
He's good if you have him.
Maneater attacks one enemy, places decreased attack debuff on all enemies if this attack is critical. So if you get Maneater, and some of you guys are going to love this guy, if you get Maneater, make sure he's a critical attack. Hopefully I never run into you, because I hate this guy. Attacks one enemy, fully depletes the target's turn meter, fills this champion's turn meter equal to the amount target loses. So you want speed on him. If he can get ahead of the enemy, it depletes their turn meter. Just wait till you see the next kit. This champion receives damage, then places an unkillable buff and a block debuff on all allies for 2 turns. Damage received is equal to 5% max HP for each alive ally. So he hurts himself to protect all the allies. And getting unkillable and block debuff, as you can see in the arena, this can be very useful. I know because I've faced this champ plenty of times. I know that he's annoying. I've now got champs that can kill unkillables. Still annoying to work around. But you have to make sure those champs are with you, and that takes away whatever you normally do. You change around your routine, then you have to make sure you know what you're doing. Yeah, because you get caught up on your routine, so you're doing the same thing all the time, so you're familiar with how you work that team compared to switching champs around or whatever. Then you have to rethink your routine a lot. Anyways, as I continue with this grind, doesn't take long to eat through those. And then the boss for chapter 5, and I still haven't figured out that character. I think I'd drop in a profile here in a moment. No, that would have been smart for me to do in the edit, but I can actually look at him here in a moment. I'll look at his abilities. Yep, hold on. Pause! So his A1, freezing cold, attacks an enemy, has 30% chance of placing freeze debuff for 1 turn. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. Attacks all enemies, places provoke debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Place the counterattack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Stand still, place the increase crit rate buff on this champion for 2 turns. Then attacks 1 enemy if the target has a freeze debuff, attacks all enemies and removes freeze debuff from the initial target. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. Well, at least he takes a freeze off, right? Wow. And he's immune to all that. I'm not reading all of it. So I don't know his name offhand. I believe he's an Ogryn, and he's a legendary. I'd have to look him up. That's terrible. I looked the guy up, and I do not see him anywhere. I thought it looked like War Chief or the Ogryn Bagoon, but it's not. It's not him. I don't know who that is. I didn't find him in anybody. I looked in all 15. A moment ago, I had a pause. I looked in all 15 factions under legendaries. He's not in any one of them. Whoa! Go Kale. So anybody knows who that is? Give a comment below.
They emerged victorious on the other side and opened wide the colossal gate to let through the multitude. Amid great acclaim, the company followed the road northward to the Palace of Aravia.
Oh boy.
But before leaving the gate, a wounded skinwalker seized hold of one of them and growled, "See what you do. Not good. We bar gate for reason. None can help them now."
Oh boy. Trash. Oh, good. Bruce. Those come in useful later on. Yeah. Alright, we'll try to push through. I'm going to try to go through this a little bit faster. Hopefully I'm not dragging too long. I know some of these parts will get fast forward through in my edit, so.
Elven lords and ladies welcomed the travelers with honey cake and mead. They told them they would be led to their new home on the other side of Tillshire. Wasting no time, the company hailed the Elven Guard to demand audience with the Queen.
Oh boy.
They offered to give her news of her friend and ally, King Teba. The guard promptly returned with his chief, who said, perhaps too affably, "The Queen bids you welcome and friendship. She awaits you in her rooms."
Oh boy.
Our heroes advanced, nonetheless with caution, into the magnificent palatial hall.
Yep, it's an ambush. Yes, we do. So we get elves. Elves, yep. We are fighting high elves. I should have, well, I'll read this guy first. Attacks 1 enemy is 15% chance of placing sleep debuff for 1 turn. Places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Heals all allies by 25% of this champion's max HP. Attacks all enemies. Decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. It's not quite a buff strip unless the buffs have 1 turn remaining. It's not bad. Plus you have the resistance banner. Marksman. Attacks one enemy, places poison debuff for 2 turns. If the attack is critical, has a 25% chance of granting an extra turn. Attacks one enemy, fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%, has an extra 25% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Definitely want crit hit on him. If using this particular ability, you only need 80%. And the other ability still want 100. But thing is, any added crit rate above 100% isn't good. There's no adding crit rate from him, but somebody else could probably add crit rate if you got an allies. There's 2 of them. Then we got Hyria. She could be annoying, especially if you got multiples of her. You'll see plenty of her in the dungeons. Attacks one enemy, has an extra 25% chance of inflicting critical hit. So again, you want crit rate on her up to 75% minimum. And then that way she will cover the gap with this. At least the 1 hit. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each has a 35% chance placing 5% poison, so the high poison. And then of course the most annoying. Attacks one enemy with 2 random allies. Allies joining the attack use the default skill. That's an ally attack use. So she'll grab any random ally with her. And I'm gonna grab the usual that I've been dragging along. If I start to struggle, then I might throw in the legendaries. For now, keep to the plan I've been working. So as it continues on, I was looking up something, that's why I was quiet, sorry. So, but continuing on, crit rate is only effective at 100%. Anything above 100% is useless on crit rate. It's the crit damage you want on max, as high as you can go. Burkus has a decent defensive, so attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 30% reflect damage buff on a random ally. That's not guaranteed. It can be useful. It's annoying if it doesn't proc. Place a continuous heal, increase speed buff, and reflect damage buff on a target ally for 3 turns. So this one's every turn he has a chance of doing that every time he uses this. This one's every time he uses this, and it's higher chance, I guess. Also places an ally protection buff on all allies except this champion, and then places increased debuff on this champion. So the idea is you're trying to make sure that the enemies only attack him when he does all his buffs for the team. And then his passive ability places shield buff on this champion equal to 10% max HP, 2 turns whenever this champion this champion equal to 10% max HP. Yeah, so it's itself for 2 turns whenever this champion loses 10% or more of their max HP. So that's why it's hard for it to kill him if you ever see him in the arena. Active effect places a 15% continuous buff on this champion for 2 turns every time their HP drops below 50. He's definitely a challenge to kill if you don't have the right champs. So if you can drop crit rate on your enemy, you reduce the chances of getting their critical hit. So if you reach a champion, or if one of your So this is Apothecary. If you guys get him, keep him. It took me a long time before I ever got Apothecary on my high account. Attacks 3 times at random. It's kind of a boring. If you can, there's not many sets I could suggest for him because the rest of us can't. But there are sets that if you add to it, so it's not so boring. I like usefulness, so it depends on how you look at it. Heals target ally by 35% hit points. This heal can be critical, so you want to make sure his crit rate is high. Crit rate doesn't always have to be on damage. Crit rate can also be healing abilities. So the same rules apply. If he's crit rate, and then he uses this, it procs actual crit, then it will use the crit damage calculation, whatever his crit damage is, to calculate how much heal he gets. So it's not calculating damage on the heal, it's using the same numbers for the crit damage to calculate what the heal is going to be. I believe that's what it is. Somebody down below could correct me if I'm wrong on that. And then places its increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. The fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. So he's very useful. Mainly a lot of people talk about him because of this. I don't necessarily like it as much because it's a single target. But if you can make him fast, and yeah, if you can make him fast, get him up to at least 200 speed. If other players don't have their champs at 200 speed, the average being 100, if they're around the average, then he will go twice. So he'll get to this ability a lot faster. It is every 3 turns. You can proc it down to 2 turns. So once you get him fully booked, and you're lucky enough to get these books right here, every other turn he can use this. Still, it's still only a single target. So again, with crit rate, if your enemy has an ability such as Clawed Beast Fielder, his A1 attacks one enemy, he has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased crit rate debuff. Avenger, oh, she can be annoying too. Attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance, 30% decreased debuff. Decreased defense debuff. I had to make sure I read that right. Attacks at random 2 times, has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. So just make sure your crit hit's up there. You only need 85% for this, but the rest of the abilities still need 100. So it's up to you if you get it all the way. If you can't get it all the way, at least this ability is closer to crit rate than the others. This last one is attacks one enemy. This skill always inflicts a critical hit, so you don't have to worry about crit rate for this one. And you don't have to worry about, I mean, you could worry about, but this is just one, it's one strike. So what was so annoying about her? It's not who I thought it was. There's an elf out there, and I thought it was Avenger because of the name. There's an elf out there that she counterattacks every time an ally's hit. She's annoying. Tyrell's good for defense, especially if you don't have a decent defense. He's equivalent to Vergus or Skiramus, or elves have a lot of good defenders at the epic. But attacks one enemy 2 times, each hit 40% chance placing decreased attack debuff 2 turns, damage inflicted proportional to defense. Attacks all enemies has 75% chance placing decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. If the target is decreased attack debuff, it will place a sleep debuff for 1 turn damage. So hold on, decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. If the target is under a decreased attack debuff, so you want somebody dropping decreased attack as well, it will also place sleep on them for 1 turn. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. And one enemy decreases the target's turn meter by 50%. If the attack fully depletes the target turn meter, it will place a stun debuff for 2 turns. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. So there's 2 different abilities of so there's stun, there's sleep, decreased attack. So use this first, that's the decreased attack, and then you use this one to get them sleep. And then you use this one, which will wake them up. But if it depletes the turn meter, it stuns them, they'll go back to sleep. Stun and sleep are 2 different debuffs. They both pretty much do the same thing. If the target is asleep, they can be woke up if they're hit. If the target is stunned, they do not get woke up. So Tyrell's pretty good. Defensive, especially if you can use him right. Tank him defense as well. Gives high defense. All in all, crit rate's good, like I was saying.
Battle Sage? She's new to me. I don't remember seeing her. Attacks all enemies against kind of a boring hit, but the fact it's AoE, if you're able to put some use to that by adding something to her kit with a set, then toxic, or let's see what else she does. Place the increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns, then removes all debuffs on all allies. This buff cannot be removed. So increased attack cannot be removed. Okay. Places revive on death, buff on target ally for 3 turns. The ally will instantly revive if killed. Okay. It's just one target ally, so then you would have to figure out who's being hit the most. Usually whoever's got the lowest health, the AI will go for. As I was explaining earlier with the crit rate, if you crit rate is up to 130%, which is 30% extra than what it's needed, but you fight Clawed Beast Fielder and he drops you by 30%, you're still at 100%. So that's what I was talking about, that buff. And the buffer zone of crit rate. Otherwise, 100% or more is useless. More than 100% is useless. So this is Ava, not the Lady Kimmy like I thought. I'll throw a profile up here in a minute. But attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance placing heal reduction debuff. Ouch. Don't get hit by that. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. It sounds bad, but you do a lot easier. If I lose this, I'm going to come back in with one of my top guys. KO's a lot stronger than I anticipated. Attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter by 20, resets the cooldowns of each of this champion's skills. Any target is killed. Has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. And immune. So if you get this champ, I don't think you get. You don't. They just add that for bosses. But I think she is summonable through shards. Again, it's Ava, Queen Ava. Again, don't worry about minions, especially when you're having trouble. I'm not having trouble, but still you get through it faster by just focusing on the boss. Boom.
They reeled in horror at what they found.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's up to me. I have to click the button.
Having exchanged the grace of the Eldar for the dark power of the Shadow, the Queen had mutated into a malicious sorceress. It was she who had betrayed the king, had fomented the war between Kirok and Aravia. But to what end? What bargain had she struck? The company now realized that the Skinwalkers had barred Felwyn's gate for good reason. Donning their cloaks, the heroes fled the palace.
Dun dun dun.
They then joined the refugees traveling under the escort of the Sacred Order to uncover what dire fate Queen Eva had laid down for them.
Alright, well, good early on. It's a 3-star, it's not that exciting, but early game it is. Like I just said, it's good early on. Okay, so I'm being excited for you guys getting these sets, right? Not me. Actually, I'm kind of early game anyways, this is my low count. These are nice, actually. They're both keepable. I mean, the stats are keepable. Stats aren't the best for attack champ, but as I explained, going immortal, going on often will go on HP champ for me. There are some early game high attack champs I'll put immortal on to keep them alive, but for the most part, I use the 2-piece immortal sets for like to keep support champs alive and whatnot. And HP. It's got an HP boost. So without further ado, collecting a few things before going into Faction Wars.
So after I finish the faction war here in a moment, stick around. I will go back to the campaign and redo chapter 1 again to show you guys stars and improving the stars and what you get out of those, and I'll talk about those. So again, I was just making sure the Dark Elves I was using had better gear. So that's why I'm removing them now, because I know I got better gear for those. And as I was saying earlier, these were temporary. I just did it for the quest. The missions. Oops. No, I don't want. Pay attention to what you're pushing. 2,000. Careful what you're pushing. I don't know why I slowed that down to explain that. So I was looking for better gear for them, and then you can filter the gear and look for higher stars if that's what you're looking for. If there were pauses in the video along with the video, it's because I guess, I don't know, there's too much of my processor handling at once. I'm not sure why. Usually I don't have that much trouble, I don't think, but I noticed today there were a lot of pauses in the video. I would try to remove those pauses in before my final edit, but hopefully I get them all. So I only gear 3 of them. The other 2 I think I mentioned before, the other 2 I leave empty. But I was looking for gear that would fit the best. I know some people say stats over gear sets, but I still try to prefer sets and look for the best stats within a set, within a pair, because you're still getting better results of a set. So whether it's boosting stat or if it's boosting, if it's giving you abilities you would otherwise not have with only stats, I still prefer as much as possible. And then by trying to focus on specific sets, as you progress along in the game, later on you'll find other pieces within that same set that you can replace. So you continue to improve your stats and improving the champ's ability by focusing on just one set. Just don't stick to that one same piece with that set forever, is all I'm saying. Just continue to look for better pieces to replace what you have in the set. You can definitely tell when you get up there and 10 up, 12, 14, 16, trying to get to those levels, your chances reduce to pretty much nothing. So it takes forever, and that's why everybody complains about gear. Costs gear to upgrade, or costs money to upgrade gear, it costs money to remove gear. That can be daunting, but at the same time I can understand what they're trying to develop. They don't want gear to go back and forth between champs 5-6 times a day. So, I mean, keep that in mind. To those watching it and complain, think they need to remove the cost. I think they can lessen the cost so it's not as much. If somebody can afford going back and forth all the time, let them make that decision. But if you're a raid developer watching this, I also think you can add passes to the game where somebody can buy pass, like you can get a pass for added experience or get a banner pass. I think you could buy a pass in the store or something like that, 24 hours of free gear removal, and then when the pass expires you need to go back to having cost of gear removal. I know you guys do monthly or semi-monthly, every other month opportunities where 3 days in a row you get cheap or half 50% off. But I think continuing that furthermore, if you add a pass where players can buy the pass, and sure, somebody would exploit that, put it in the store, make it cost 150 gems or something like that. I don't know. I think it would be very useful. But other than that, I think I get this. I must have paused in my gear development. If I remember my final edit, I'm going to try to remove this. But otherwise, it would just give me a chance to talk. I end up getting Kale geared and the 2 Spirit Host geared. I leave the other 2 Dark Elves alone, the green Dark Elves that are at level 18 and level 14. I leave them alone, and
they go in and they still fight. At level 1, those 5 will still clear level 1 without a loss, so I still get a 3-star. And I think I'll briefly talk about the difference in stars in the faction wars. Stars in the faction wars are different than the stars in the campaign. They mean the same thing, but they have different prerequisites. So there's a different strategy between the two if you're trying to get 3 stars on every level. Again, if you're Plarium raid developers, another idea I've been wanting to mention is if you add a purchasable pass, like a 24-hour pass, similar to the one I mentioned with the free gear removal for 24 hours, if you can add where it increases chances of upgrade chances for like 24 hours, that can also be a pass that people probably buy in the store or in the shop. Just a couple ideas that I'd like to see, but I'm too lazy to go type that out, so I don't know, maybe I'll type it out here in a minute on the Discord server for raid under their suggestions. Somebody else sees this and agrees, maybe you go type it out. If I see your comment, I'd vote for it. And here I get, I think this last set of gear upgraded. I'll put on the last spirit host. I think I have all of them geared. No, not quite. So I'm going back and forth basically. So other stuff that I've been talking about at the beginning of the video, besides Raid Shadow Legends, I play other games. And recently I just discovered a game on my Game Pass with Xbox. I'm playing City Skylines, believe it or not. And City Skylines used to be a PC only game, but now it's available on Xbox. And I don't know why it's really addicting. And it's free. I pay for the Xbox Game Pass, Gold Pass, whatever it is. Whatever, $5 a month I pay for that. But other than that, I get the game for free and I get basic, I get a couple of DLCs that came with it. But other than that, I don't. I was screaming at the game. That's what I was doing right now. I was screaming at the chances because it was taking forever to get what I wanted. But I'm going to start doing a few videos possibly in the near future for City Skylines. And I think I've got one city that I'm only doing while recording. I've got another city I've been working on. I've got another city I just recently started and been doing really well. So a couple different videos I might show of different cities. So much options you can do on City Skylines. It's just so rich in detail, rich in options, and rich in challenges. It's amazing. Other than that, as you can see on my channel, I've played Civilization in the past. I've played warships. I've played tanks. I've played sci-fi tanks with I can't remember the other tank game I used to play. I play a lot of games, and Dark Elves. There's a lot of games I played I haven't even shown on YouTube. I might start showing the retro games. With the minimal that I just did, you'll see how easy it is to get through most of Anyways, I play a lot of other games, and I'm going to try and show them in the future. I probably don't even need the other two. I'm going to take them anyway. Oh, we'll just throw it on auto. Speed right through this. To get 3 stars, you have to have 5 champs, and you have to have no losses. So 5 champs with no losses, and you get a 3-star. And you'll see that here in a moment as I beat level 1, stage 1. 3 stars. Oh, nope, it moved on. Did I just get louder? I apologize about that. I didn't edit all the clips. If I remember, I'll have to drop that volume of that particular clip. There's different segments depending on how I cut them. Each cut is a new clip. So you got 3 stars on the stage 1. Now I'll continue and only get 1 star because I'll lose 1 here in a moment. But I can get all the way to level 5, I believe. It moves so fast, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Increase attack glyph.
As far as strategy, you guys
Bloodstone.
just
Use those in Forge.
I always go for the cheap, weakest.
So I've gotten 3 more stars plus 1 star, so I got 4 stars. So total I've got
Well, I got 3 stars on stage
6,
2 too.
7 stars. Not quite enough for that book, but 50 energy. I got free 50 energy.
So
Eventually I'll get that book, and then I'll get more coin, and then I'll get a turkey. Get a rank 3 chicken.
It's
and then
every
I'll get a
5
blue
stars
shard,
getting
and
your
you can't
reward.
see beyond that. But this will keep going. This will keep climbing, climbing. I'm up and around 500 something, 5 or 600 something. And once you get to 900, you get this chick right here, Lydia the Death Siren.
On my high account.
I haven't seen her in a while in the arena. I think she'd still be a useful champ
945.
if I had her. She's just this. The entire faction wars. If you can grind this every day, it's a good thing.
She's out of
And then
meta,
when you
but I
get
think she's still
down to each boss, you get a blue book. Now, and then you get a purple book, and then I think you get a gold book. You do. You get a gold book. Legendary book. I wonder if they'll eventually expand the faction wars to include
and that's all
mythic
15
books, mythic tomes
factions.
now. Now we have mythics in the game.
That would be a good question. That would be a good question, Raid. Are you going to expand the factions? And if you do, is that going to affect the requirements already for Lydia? Don't do that. Just add another champion. You should have another champion at lower levels. It shouldn't take so long to get to Lydia, but it does. Even my high account, like I said, 500 something point stars so far. Still not able to beat all the factions with my high account. So it takes a long time. Been at it for 18 months plus on my high account. Actually, I'm on a pause right now. That's why I was talking about at the beginning of the video. It just gets so daunting, so stressful sometimes to play this game, and it shouldn't be stressful to play a game. You should have fun, be relaxed, casually play, come at it anytime you want. Not have to be on every single day. And to me, that's what Raid feels like.
But I don't want to. This video is not trying to minimize. I love Raid. It's amazing. It's just sometimes too much.
So following this video, I might not be on Raid for a little while. I might be on my Raid, my lower accounts. I'm ignoring it on my high account. I still got a clan that I'm trying to manage on my lower accounts. I'm just giving everybody a break, so I'm not even paying attention to the requirements. On my mid account leadership, I have my low account. Eventually my clan will have a Discord server. And I might start eventually, if I can get my followers on YouTube to reach 100. Again, if you're stopping by, stepping in, sticking around, thank you very much for checking out my video today. If I get my following to 100, this will probably be it for the video. I only did 2 chapters
Discord
today.
server.
Just take them all in. I think if any of you are with me still, you probably expended most of your patience. Add a
so
dungeon run.
I do appreciate you stopping by, stepping in, sticking around.
Go ahead and hit that like button.
Subscribe to the content. I'm going to continue to try to do more Raid Shadow Legends videos. also like to play other games, I've got other games on my YouTube that you might also enjoy watching periodically, so check those out as well. Comment down below if you got any questions, any comments,
as I was talking
suggestions,
about.
and all that would be most appreciative. So to finish off, so I didn't get any farther. I was hoping I would have possibly gotten that book, that tome book. The forge is right here, and I
need
can't
2
get
more
to it yet.
stars, and I don't have them.
Forge lets you craft artifacts using materials you collect from battles.
I talk about the forge,
Most likely it's referring to faction war battles. There's a couple other places you also get materials, but most of it will come from faction wars. It's 90% of your materials for the forge. But using materials in the forge lets you create artifacts from sets of your choosing without having to raid the dungeons. Not every set's available, but some of the good stuff, perception and deflection I mentioned earlier. But you can get materials from many different in-game activities. So I'm just reading through it because I can't do much to show you until it's opened up. I've got 3 more levels to go for my character level until I can open the forge. Something else I was going to show you, the Great Hall. I mentioned it earlier when I was reading something, talked about the Great Hall. So this is the Great Hall. Come in here, you add some of these, you get these from the zones in the arena. Currently
I'm going to
still
talk
in
over
copper,
myself,
so
but besides what I'm about to do,
I think
get the first 3 uses in the Great Hall attack, and it
Chaos
accomplishes
Blue
a quest
my
for
most
you.
important, so I'm going to throw this.
Which I didn't
do
pay
this on red
attention to.
because
I
I
just
got
went
a
with what
few
I thought I
different
needed.
champs on red. I probably should have put my first one on Kale.
So I
I'm gonna
put the
this one
HP on Kale.
and it costs only 50. It's good, it's good, it's good. And since I know that costs 50, I
And
can do
again,
one
correct
more,
that.
and I
Put
can do
all 3
attack
on the
Kale as well.
3 attacks.
Not
for all
necessarily
3
Kale, but
affinities.
anybody
You'll
who's blue,
accomplish your quest.
any blue affinity will have
And I'll
Kale.
see that here in a moment.
This is
but it'll
area
be too late.
bonuses. It doesn't. I don't even have that unlocked yet. So those 2 bonuses will help anybody with blue affinity, HP,
We'll have Kale.
and
We'll have
attack. And something else I was going to show I haven't showed before. Since I'm not doing 2 more chapters, which I was thinking about doing, I'll go do. I'll see if I can do this. I know I said earlier I probably wasn't, but I bet if I put the right champs, I can at least do a couple levels, low levels. I go about 5 levels, I think, real quick. I'll make it fast. What do you guys think? Anything here that you would have done differently?
And I don't even need Spirit Host. I don't know why.
Give me a comment. It's not going to help me now, but.
I was treating it like Faction War, I don't know why. And then I add Legend anyways, but... You do gain experience, so that's probably what I was thinking. I was trying to put all the champs that need experience. You gain experience in the dungeons, it's just it's not as high of a experience per win or something like that gained. But you gain experience in the dungeons as well as the keeps, potion keeps. So maybe that's what I was thinking when I added these. So I accomplished a quest, but I continued on anyways to see how far I can get with the void. And just showing you guys not to be afraid of the void, or of any of the dungeons really. On the level 1s, you should sample all the dungeons you have access to. Throw your best champs, doesn't matter strategy. Level 1, you're likely going to win. Get in there, figure it out. And then as you grow in the stage, in the faction or the dungeon, grow in that particular content, you'll learn its strategy, and then you'll start adjusting your teams depending on who you have. But just throw anybody in these. Whoever your top 5 champs are, throw them all in. There's not really much of a strategy at stage 1. And again, maybe I'm saying that because Kale's already almost max 50, and I've got 2 legendaries. So you might have different results, but I don't think you're going to struggle that much. If you do, I apologize. I don't see that possible. If you at least have good champs that are geared, good experience, more than rank 3, whatever.
think now at stage 4 or 5, I might start struggling. I'll lose one, maybe. Nope, I still win. Easy win. That's stage 7. Wow. Farther than I thought it was. I think I was trying to see how far I can go before I start losing. Or before I'm at risk of losing. I know why I did Spirit Host. I did 2 Spirit Hosts because they both have an attack boost. Plus, I think they're cleanse or block debuffs. That's why I was doing both Spirit Hosts. So, we'll go back to the challenges where I was at earlier. So, I did Ryathalos for 2 and Monkey Boy all have 3 more. Nice. And yeah, cleared stage 2. So I can't get into these keeps at the moment. But when I do those 3, I'll get a blue shard. So again, read those. Do what you can, get more rewards. So this is earlier I was talking about the, see right there? I was in the Great Hall moments ago. Great Hall. So what that said is the attack bonus for all affinities, all 4 of these. So when I upgrade all 4 of those, if I would have paid attention, I would have done all 3 on attack. No, just the 3, not the void. I don't know why. Oh, except void, so I don't have to worry about the void. But if I upgrade the attack bonus for the other 2, then I will complete that. Silver 1 and 30 medals. Shouldn't be too much hard to get that next completion done. So whoever your starting hero is, whatever champs you have, ignore all that. Your first 3 in the Great Hall should be the attack for all 3 of those affinities. And you'll get that sooner than I did. Cut to a different video. I was showing you how easy it is to continue. This is a different day's worth of Faction Wars, and it's actually quiet. I didn't do a voiceover, so I'll be able to talk a little bit more while this is doing, and then I'm going to cut back into the video. This is in between the regular videos I was doing, and I think the reason why I just threw this in is to show you, again, as I mentioned, how easy it is to do Faction Wars. I'm looking for orcs, and I don't have many orcs besides just these few, and I'll show you how easy it is just with Shaman, Terror Beast, and what was that, Warboy? I think that's Warboy. Those 3, and I'm going to push through at least a couple levels in orcs Faction Wars. I might not get many stars, especially because I don't have all 5, but you're still going to gain resources for the forge. So I'll push as high as I can. I'll do a quick run with that, and then I'll return to the campaign, and I'll show you what the stars mean in the campaign and what you get, and that will end the video. But quick, again, just thank you for stopping by, stepping in, sticking around. Go ahead and hit that like button if you have enjoyed this content. Thank you very much for sticking around this long, and please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to follow along for future notifications. You won't miss any future videos. I will continue to do other videos for other games. I've backlogged. I've got a lot of backlogs. I might just end up destroying most of my archives. I don't want to. Some of those games are actual storyline segments, and I might try to continue those. But some of those are just added videos for more game content. So right now I'm most interested in City Skylines. I do have a couple videos with City Skylines I'm going to try to get out within the next week or 2, and I'll see how much those grow. But if I can get my channel to 100 followers, I'm going to try to develop a Discord server and make my own Discord server that you guys have seen other YouTubers have. And it would talk about all my content that I have on my server, all the different games. I'd have different segments for each game, talk about the game, strategy, questions, videos of each game, etc. It would be on my Discord server. But I don't have that yet. I am on Discord. I don't even know my name on Discord at the moment.
But I am on Discord, and if you're in my clan, I'm trying to build with Raid. I'm trying to build a server for just the clan members only. So it's my practice at least building a server. So I do appreciate your patience, and hopefully will get myself up there to where I'm like all the other big timers. So as it comes to an end, I can see down below I'm at 2 of 3. Another pause. I apologize. I'm trying to do. So, what am I? Stage 5? Stage 4 right now. Oh, I'm just farming stage 4. Because I know I lost the 1. So I knew I wasn't going to push any higher. So that's why I'm on the multi-battle. But all I have is Shaman, Terror Boost, and Warboy. I think that's... Again, I still don't even know if that's war. Let's find out here in a moment. 30 seconds. No, 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 3 seconds. There it is. And War Chanter. I was close. I had War. So again, I got more bonus. I gained more rewards at the bottom, as you saw. And I do one more because I had an extra key. That's why. So I was doing a higher level, which left me, I think, 1 key remaining. So I went back to a lower level to get that 1 key. Anyways, so just do what you can. Faction War for now. What I was gonna continue doing. If you're trying to stay on this every day, I'm not going to right now. Even if you're not on every day, any day you log in, check your Faction War. If you go 5 days without playing the game, Palace, you get in, check your Faction War, see who the Faction War is for that day. Nope, we got past that. And then go edit your champs for that faction now, and try to focus. And eventually, some of the next video I'm gonna do Tilshire and Valdemar at least. And we shall see at that video what my progress looks like. I might just do these 2 at a time instead of 4, because now I we completed that. We didn't open Tilshire. We also opened it. We didn't start it. So last time I mentioned these stars at the bottom of the map, at the bottom of each. So maybe for episode 4, in and complete this real quick to close out the video. Or I might do a dungeon only. If I beat the stage, I get 1 star. 4. If I beat the stage, and no losses. 5 will be chapters 7 and 8. But if I use 2 or fewer champions, no losses, then I get 3 stars. So all you gotta do is come over here, just move 1, and watch me get those 3 stars right there.
You have to do it on all remaining stages. So this should be easy to scale. Twice as good all by themselves out. Razor whatever. Terror Beast, that's what I want, Terror Beast. I had to take some risk. I think, and I found.
So you could use 1 only.
That's 3 stars.
No food.
And hold on, I come out here and double check.
You can add 1 food if you want to level up food. But you can't have a loss. So a food would likely lose easy. So the strategy there is a higher champion who you're trying to grind for experience, but it's not necessarily food. Unless you want, say, use Terror Beast as a higher food, chapter 5, level 5 food or something. Oh, Valerie, but Valerie's good. I don't mean like the level 2 or level 3, stage 2, stage 3 food. Boring attack 1, A1. So you come in here, 2 champs only, when you get 3 stars as by 1 turn, places increased attack. And so once you have 3 stars, 2 turns, all 7 stages of that ascended. She's also increased. She's good early on. Of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn, as well as decreases the duration of debuffs, as well as increases attack buff. Places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. The value of the shield depends on the champion's level. Heals each ally according to the number of buffs they are currently under. So make sure they're buffed. Use this. Get heals. So now that shows 3 stars, where earlier it showed 2 stars. And it's based on the average stars of all the levels. I didn't get enough to get the 3rd reward, but these down here, so to keep track, 90 with other champions who have buffs for that right there. She'll be really good. then it will have 3 more parts after
So-
I reach that 90. Once you complete all 5 parts, will be 3 stars all the way through all of this, through Brimstone. Will be all 5 parts, 90 stars each. You'll have 252 stars. And there's a lot of good rewards along the way. So even if you've already gone through the campaign and you're over here, don't forget to come back and look through the rest of your chapters and make sure that you've gotten 3 stars on each chapter and get these rewards down here for some great rewards. All you see is the 3 here. Once you hit the 90, there'll be more rewards that it's not showing you right now. So it's hard to understand, but that should be it for today's video.
Stars.
Thank
per
you again for
part.
stopping by, stepping in, sticking around, and again, like,
did
follow,
it.
and subscribe. There'll be more content in the future. Appreciate you. Have a good night. If you stuck around, you're in for a treat as I am showing what you can expect to see in the near future. I will start recording videos with, or some videos I've already recorded, to showcase city skylines. I just recently bought this plus some DLC. So again, like, subscribe, and follow so you can catch this content in the future. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jesus, for your mercy and grace upon my life. I pray all those who see this reach out to you one day. Thank you to the game developers of these games and more for the products you make. Keep up the good work. Last but certainly not least, thank you to all my fans, friends, and followers for stepping in, sticking around, and checking out these games with me. God bless.